wrong sign. Oh, there you go. I'm gonna keep it open. I'm just gonna have it to the far side. So will this stream get saved or is it just live only?
It'll be saved.
Oh, cool.
Saved forever. Ooh.
I think it's gonna be fine.
It will be fine. It's gonna be good. Hopefully I don't flub up any of my words. Let's see.
Yeah, I wrote a bunch of stuff, but I'm gonna try to just say things casually. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, all right.
We are live, so everyone can hear you even if they can't see you.
My bad. Hello, Robin.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for letting me in a little early. I just wanted to see how the lighting, well, it looks pretty dark in here. Also, you're very bright. It looks, it looks really nice. Oh, yeah, when I was testing this now with different nighttime, it's kind of a glare is the problem.
Wait, can you just confirm?
Always take it. Always take it. My life has changed completely and for the better a million times over. God, I don't even know where I would be if we never met. You have been nothing. You have been a tsunami of good fortune in my life. Like ever since I met you, my life has taken a turn for like the best. These two things that I really didn't want to do, but I forced myself to do, changed the course of my life, like completely and forever. And in my life since then, like I always look at these opportunities of things that I don't want to do as like, what is it worth these moments of awkwardness, of uncertainty, of discomfort?
Hi there, everyone. How's it going? Cool. Well, my name is John Gereither, and I am the gallery director this year for Everyday Unboxed. Now, I am going to give you just like a little bit of information about the show, and then I'm going to turn it over to my friend Honda, who's going to tell you a little bit about Foundry 10, and sort of head on with things from there. Cool. So, just so everybody knows, this is our third year holding Everyday on Scene, and our first time bringing the show online. For me, this event has always been about like legitimizing the work of young artists and introducing them to the Seattle art community, letting their voices that are often unheard and unseen sort of be seen and be heard by the public and the art community. So, for an artist, contact with your peers and participation in the art world at events like this is really crucial and can be fulfilling on like a deeply personal level. That's why, like at Foundry 10, we're like really proud to hold this event, even with all the new barriers to that contact and that participation. So like 2021 has been a very hard year with COVID, varying levels of social, political unrest, and a sort of long, exhausting election. I feel like it's left us all really ready to move on into the future. This year, the entire show has gone remote and online, and while that sort of seemed like a limitation at first, it has opened up a lot of exciting possibilities for that future for the show, and I hope for everyone involved as well. This year, our theme is Everyday Unboxed. So with the new normal of remote learning, working, and even art making, it can sort of feel like we're all constrained in boxes. These boxes can be our homes, our rooms, even these little tiled Zoom meetings we're in all day. So this year we asked these 25 young artists to unbox their takes on what's been going on and sort of how life has been affected for them. And while they're letting their voices out to be heard, they've also let us into those boxes and sort of so we can sort of see and experience everything the way they see it and experience it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Honda, who's going to lead us on with the rest of the show.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here tonight, and thank you for joining us for the Everyday Unseen 2021 virtual gallery opening. So this is the first of its kind in the Everyday Unseen annual youth art exhibition, where we are solely online. We all know why we're here tonight, and the gallery is fantastic, and I'm just really pumped about the 25 artists who contributed artwork to the show. And I'm gonna be your co-host tonight with John. I'm a gallery organizer and have been reaching out to a lot of the students. My name is Honda. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Foundry 10 just to start before we kick off. So Foundry 10 is a philanthropic organization focused on creating value and equitable opportunities for youth through education, research, innovative program development, and collaborative philanthropy. The Everyday Unseen program is brought to you by Foundry 10's artistic design team, whose focus is bringing visual arts programming to youth and creating platforms for young artists to explore and engage in their passion. So John and I are both part of the artistic design team. And we also have some behind the scenes people today helping out with our live our live presentation. And those people are Chelsea, John, and Zadie. So just want to shout out to them and thank you so much for helping make all this possible. There's a whole lot of wizardry happening behind the scenes right now that I didn't think was possible when we first started dreaming about a virtual exhibition. So we do want to let everybody know about the website. So the gallery this year is on view on a web page. So we can go ahead and put that in the social media or the live stream chats. The URL is everydayunboxed2021.com. So you can follow along if you'd like to explore the gallery on your own. You can take a look at it later or share it with your friends and check it out. Yeah. John, do you want to mention?
Oh yeah. So we're gonna be sort of just running things along, and then once everything wraps up, we're gonna have a little bit of an artist after party. I think the link for that is gonna be the same link that some of you have already gotten to call in and talk about your work. So if you feel like sticking around afterward, we'll all be here hanging out for a minute.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for joining us again tonight. We are going to start off the evening with a keynote by local artist and inspiration, Robin Jordan. So here we are sharing with you Robin's Instagram, which is full of really fantastic artwork. I'm going to read a little bit about Robin to give you an introduction and then let her take it away. So Robin Jordan is a cartoonist and illustrator based in Seattle, Washington. For the past decade or more, she has self-published mini comics. She also makes images and illustrated stories for clients such as The Nib, Mother Magazine, Bright Magazine, Narratively, The Stranger, Seattle Art Museum, King County Metro, SEIU, and the Seattle Weekly. She has an MFA from Parsons, the New School for Design, and her work has been featured in the Huffington Post, the Seattle Review of Books, and Vox. Robin's stories range from autobiography, memoir, to nonfiction explorations of current events and political issues, often a combination of both. She has taught art in public schools for years and loves teaching watercolor and cartooning workshops with people of all ages. So it's a great honor to have Robin delivering an inspirational keynote tonight to kick off our art exhibition. Thank you.
Hello, and thanks so much, Honda and Foundry 10 and John. I want to congratulate all of you on the outstanding art in this exhibition. I am moved and inspired by your creativity and imagination. Every day unboxed. I think that speaks to the reasons we are all here. We're in the midst of so many real and metaphorical boxes, as John brought up before. the boxes of our homes, the constraints of COVID rules. Boxes can represent so many things. Delivery boxes. I'm seeing a lot of those these days too. You've been stretched this year, and it has required great adaptability and resilience. As humans, we learn to categorize and sort, to create narratives about how the world works, and these frameworks can be helpful and necessary. But sometimes adversity disrupts everything, and these boxes are no longer true or no longer meaningful. What will we create in this new moment? As an artist and a teacher, I'm often thinking about the role of art. Why do we make it? As time goes on and we get closer to a year of this pandemic, it sometimes feels like a struggle to motivate to make anything. Sometimes all I feel is like lying on the floor and doing nothing. Why is art important? I think as time passes and in different parts of our lives, art is important for different reasons. As a young person, I often made art because it was something that I felt I was good at, a talent that was recognized by others too. It often felt fun, if sometimes stressful, from the pressure I put on myself. When that happened, making art became one of my identities, a way I was describing myself. It helped define something for me. I suspect that you might relate. Each of the artworks in this exhibition shows that you have very impressive skills. I imagined becoming an illustrator of children's books someday. Then art became not just an identity. Becoming an artist became a goal and something I could strive for. I tried different media and studied art in college. There's such a broad range of things that encompass art. It didn't feel like I was trapped in one category. There was always another thing to learn or try. I made nude prints in bread dough for a while. There was a lot of bread dough. I didn't do that for too long. I crocheted sculptures and attached them to the ceiling. Installation art felt exciting and fun for a while. I interviewed people for sound installations. That involved building a big structure out of cardboard. Not my best person. I installed little speakers in the columns and interviews with different veterans from the Vietnam War. I pieced them together and viewers could experience that by listening to them in surround sound. But more and more, I felt drawn to tell stories. Art became a tool for me to use. I lived in New York after college and I was living on very little cash, and I spent a lot of time in bookstores. I was reading and not buying much. I found the comics section and started reading graphic novels. It was like a light turned on, a dim one, but I gave it a shot and I made a really terrible comic. But then I made another and I made another. And maybe my childhood goal of becoming an illustrator was right after all. Over the years, I've made a lot of different kinds of comics. I've made silly gag comics. I've made interview comics. I've made very personal comics. It has always felt hard, but hard in a good way. I've gotten better at it. I still cringe to look at a lot of it. but I can see how I've grown and improved. And yet, sometimes it does start to feel like a box of my own creation. Along the way, it has started to feel less fun, less meaningful at times. When COVID hit, I felt a desperation to record my thoughts and feelings. I started drawing journal comics. I wanted to document all the losses that I was experiencing: the loss of face to face school, the loss of events and shared spaces, the loss of being inside other places besides my home and the store, the loss of touch with one another. As the months have gone on, the amount of art I've made has shifted at different points. Teaching takes up a lot of my time, but I think I'm also feeling some creative hibernation. It's time to change it up and to engage imagination in new ways. Art is so much more than a talent or a skill. It can be a great power, a force that connects us and helps us to feel less alone. Art can be a window into a different possible future. With so many crises happening in our world, in our nation, and sometimes in our homes, art is more important than ever. We need big imagination, new creative solutions. For me, that means making comics about my life as a parent and a teacher, but I'm starting to get an itch to think bigger, to flex my imagination in different ways. What new media can I try? What stories am I afraid to tell? And what will you make next? We are in an in-between liminal time. Who we were last March is not who we are right now. And who we'll be in a year will be someone even different. Art is evidence of imagination, and what we need is imagination in shocking amounts. Our future sits like a lump of clay on a table. We have to poke at it, play around, make some failed sculptures as we move toward new forms full of our biggest creative ideas. I am excited to see where imagination takes you. I can't wait to see what you'll make next. And I'm inspired and hopeful about the new possibilities in the future that you'll invent and the art you'll share that will communicate those ideas. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Robin Jordan. Can follow her work on Instagram in the live stream chat. John, did you have any takeaways from that? I think I got a lot from that.
Yeah, I have a few questions even too. One of the big ones is how did you make all that bread dough?
Oh, I was wondering about that too.
Well, it was like salt clay, so it's pretty cheap, just a ton of dough out of salt, flour, and water. But I set up this smoke alarm enough that my roommates at the time were not pleased about smoke alarm going off with me naked in the kitchen, and it was a time.
Yeah, that reminds me of some of the things I did in art school. I once bought a pig's head for a still life project, and I did have to keep it in the fridge for a few days, and my roommates were not pleased about that in the least.
I think a good takeaway from this conversation, especially for artists of all ages, is that there is no medium that's off limits. If you have a drive to try something new, you definitely should do it, whether you're, high school, college, retired. I think it's all fair game.
Yeah, absolutely. I particularly enjoyed this sort of drawing over the screen. I've been trying to do some streaming myself, inking, going through some books, drawing, stuff like that. But it's very hard, it feels like sometimes, to keep the visuals fresh and exciting.
All right. So we are going to start winding up for presentations. If you are in group 1, if you are in group 1, can you please join our Zoom meeting? The link has been emailed to you, so we cannot post it in the chat. So please check your email for that link. I hope anybody who is looking to present has gotten that email. And we're looking for group 1. So that is alphabetically the first 8 artists. If you would like to join us in the Zoom chat now. So while the artists who are interested in presenting, they'll be presenting live today. We are going in alphabetical order according to their preferred names. Anybody who is not presenting their own artwork live tonight, their artwork will still get showcased with an accompaniment by John and I. And so we're gonna move through in blocks and take a break every third. We have 3 separate groups tonight.
That's right. Cool. And I believe, are we taking a 10-minute break now, or are we kicking off with rolling through the artists? Okay, cool. So yeah, we kick things off here. It looks like first up we have Eileen Hollander. Awesome. So you can see some of Eileen's work here on the screen. This piece is called My Father. I really like this piece. I think it's very, very cool, very visually exciting. It's definitely something I could see maybe even printed on like fabric or something like that. But really impressive use, really impressive just like planning seems to have gone into this piece.
I love the color choice, the illusionary aspect of it. I think illusionary art really takes a hidden part of our brains to create. And just a reminder, if if you are in the first group, please go ahead and join the Zoom meeting now. All right, so our next artist is Allie. Allie's, Allie's first piece is called Floating Away. This is a mixed media piece. Very delicate, also so structured and has such a foundation.
Yeah, I'm always envious of paper craft artists. I've worked a lot with paper in my time, but never in this way. I only draw things or paint things on it, never cut it into different shapes and build out of it.
All right, this next piece by Allie is called Thought Process, a deeply perspective-driven art piece.
Yeah, it really can feel like that sometimes, the thought process.
And now we have Before the Storm. I like kind of the intensity of the deer's face.
The deer's face does have a certain intensity to it.
Doesn't
Looks
it?
like, yeah, on the website, Allie leaves a comment for us and says, we can often take small moments for granted. In 2019, it was impossible to predict what was to come. Looking back, the value of this photo shows the calm before the chaos. I've had a similar experience to that, just like with memories popping up on my phone or old Instagram posts and things. Even photos of just my girlfriend and I going to the lake or the beach or something. You just see it and you're like, oh, that's right, that's just not possible right now.
I will say I'm going to predict this, but I think that deer is doing fine through COVID.
I would hope so. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to say that our Before the Storm deer is healthy and happy out there somewhere.
He's healthy and happy, and he is always alive in my hearts. He is so adorable.
All right, we have a live presenter for the next one. John, do you want to do an introduction?
Yeah, sure. It looks like up next we have Allison Zeeler. And I think Allison is joining us now. You out there, Allison? Okay, we're going to get Allison back in just a second. But you can see some of Allison's work up here on the screen right now. And this piece is called Smile on Me. Cool. There's another piece here, Read My Mind. Cool. I think we have one more from Allison in our show today also. Yeah, Chelsea, let's see the next one. There it is. Cool. This one's called My Color Zone, and I really like this piece. I know Honda and I were talking about it. The transition of color is a lot of fun. Awesome. Purple Cruise. Here's another piece by Allison. Chelsea, let's go on down to the next piece. Awesome. This one's called Tone It Down. Now, I love all these pieces. I don't really do a lot of maximalism myself, but it's always fun to see. It's something I definitely enjoy.
Allison, if you do reconnect, I wonder if maybe you're having some technical issues. You can come back in anytime and jump in, and we'll accommodate you in between somebody else. But I love the your ability to fill space on a page is incredible. I did look at your website. You have a very impressive shop, full of great stuff. I encourage everybody to check out the gallery and check out Allison's profile to get there. And I love like the colorful, like kinetic energy of this work.
Yeah, it feels very bright and alive. And yeah, once again, I think if you head on over to the Everyday Unboxed site, um, on all of these pieces, there is a link to Allie's site, where I think you can pick up some of that great merch she has.
Yeah, so all of the artists are featured in the artist roster area of the website. Oh yeah, we got some live visuals here of this. So you can go ahead and check out what the artist statements are, links to their social media to follow their artwork, support them if they are selling artwork. Wow, look at all those shining faces. I am so excited to have as many artists as we do.
Yeah, it was really thrilling to get 25 artists. That was our sort of goal number, and we ended up hitting it. And very happy and just blown away by all the work that came in.
All right, our next artist is right here. Our next artist is Boyo. This piece is called Paradise with parentheses. And this is just such a fun collage to look at with all kinds of provoking imagery mixed in.
Yeah, for a long time I wasn't, I've never really done too much collage myself, but recently a lot of collage work that I've been seeing is speaking to me. I think it's something about the images, even just advertisements, images of people out in the world, obviously pre-COVID times, but they lend a quality of sort of memory. And I think a lot of time, I've been spending a lot of time with, memories of things before and imagining things in the future. And I think these sort of pictures and mashups really sort of lend they have a certain energy or look to them that I think recalls that. These pieces are great. I'm a really big fan of Boyo's work. I love the sort of Web 1.0 quality to some of these. Um, I grew up with the internet when it was a new place, and every website was just tiled gifs of stars and cars moving and things like that. And these really have that same kind of really intense, in your face, cluttered um, energy to them. But it's a lot of fun. It's exciting.
Yep, so this piece is called Hot Grapefruit. And I do love the overarching, within the chaos, there is a palette in there, and it is rather citrusy and delicious looking. Lots of kind of saturated pinks and oranges with some more pastel blues and yellows.
Yeah, I wonder if some of these packages are from Japanese candies and things, because that's what all these sort of remind me of.
Yeah, these are cut. A lot of these look like they're from a Japanese magazine. All right, so this one is called Fido, and I don't know if Boyo is here, but I looked at this for a really long time trying to figure out if it was a trompe l'oeil tactic or if that's actually a physical cockroach on there. I still can't tell. I think it's blended in very, very well with the canvas that it's on.
Yeah, if it is a trompe l'oeil, it's very impressive. Um, I have to say, I do love the little cockroach. I like those plastic bugs; are always a lot of fun.
All right, this one is called Born. So again, we have just lots of imagery stacked on each other. Some American sushi rolls hitting it big in Japan. There's always these eyes, some provoking eyes drawing you down in the composition.
Yeah, something about the English phrases on these jumping out. I think one of the other ones had the phrase "body movements" sticking out between two different pictures. This one having the words God and born, and even Orange Crush and Happy Hour, I think really, I don't know, something about it speaks to me. Maybe those are just phrases that flash through my mind quite a bit. Cool. And so it looks like
Oh,
this
wait, we have
guy.
one,
Oh, one more from Boyo.
more, yeah. So this is Boyo's last piece. It's called Magic. This one appears to have a little bit of beading here on the bottom where the bracelet is, and I think that's very clever, um, and creates a very, very nice aesthetic. The rendering on the hand is fantastic. Oh, and the little flowers are sewn in too. It's always interesting to see artists who work in multiple mediums, how they combine them. Um, do we have somebody ready to present? Okay. All right, John, you want to do this one?
Yeah, sure. So it looks like next up we have Carolyn Francisco, and this piece is called "Cry for Life." And this is colored pencil and acrylic paint, and I always found it very impressive when I was a young artist, when people could draw very well with colored pencils and render with them, and I still find it very impressive. So I am blown away by that lion.
Yeah, it's the fur is incredibly well rendered. If you're looking at the website on your computer or your phone, you may want to zoom into that. It's a very, very nice detail.
That's right. And this is called Spitting Galaxies, and I'm a big proponent of abstract drawing, drawing just sort of abstract shapes and things and patterns. And I love the shapes and patterns we have going on here with this sort of galaxy fire nebula coming out of the dragon. And again, also again, very impressive rendering on the scales of this dragon, and inside the mouth. I think maybe if you don't draw, it can be it's one of those deceptive things. The inside of a mouth, it's very hard to draw an open mouth well. Cool. All right. Awesome. This one up here is called Death in the Void. I love the gold on the teeth of this skull here, and I love the stars in the background. Rendering night skies is something that I've always found very zen and meditative. It's a very relaxing process to do, and it's very relaxing to look at as well. All right, and this is our final piece by Caroline Francisco here, and this is called Slain.
I just want to say I really appreciate, especially the dragon bursting out, all that like energy. There's so much lore, I think, behind this work, and so many stories you could create, especially something like this, where a lot of the kind of, you're thinking about, oh, there's flowers growing on this skull. How long has it been there? What is the power of that sword to slay a, a dragon or a dinosaur? And I think that's really fun.
Oh, okay. Oh, we have one more by Caroline Francisco here. Willowed. I thought that Slain was the last one, but here we go. Awesome. And this is, once again, very impressive. Like I said, a big proponent of abstract drawing, and I think the tree takes on some abstract qualities here, and that's a lot of fun.
It's giving me Georgia O'Keeffe vibes.
Yeah, it is. And is that Allison ready to talk to us, or shall we move on to the next one?
I'm ready.
Oh, Allison.
Awesome.
Hi. Sorry, I had technical issues before.
All good. We're going to take a step back and revisit your work real quick.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, whenever you're ready.
All right. So for my artwork, I like using bright and bold colors. I do mostly digital art by hand drawing. And my motto for my business is powered by ADHD. So the idea of all the bright, whimsical colors and all the random objects, it's all based off my creativity. So my inspiration behind it is that idea of being different, the idea of creativity. So I sell my artwork on products, including the stuff that's on the gallery. So it's really busy, very bold, and just very different.
Awesome. Bold is definitely the word I would use. Thank you, Allison.
You're
Thanks for
welcome.
telling us about your work.
Yeah, I can
Thank-
feel the creative energy pouring out of these drawings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. And let's let Chelsea get back to our gallery, and we can keep on keeping on.
All right. So here we have a returning artist from our previous year. If you came to the show last year, you may be familiar with a couple of the artists in the show. This is Chloe Chlorine's work. This piece is called Overgrown. And this is another piece you definitely want to open up at home in a browser and zoom in a little bit onto it. But I love the richness of the colors and the contrasts and the messiness. I love artwork that fills the space, and this one definitely feels lived in.
Yeah, absolutely. Feels lived in and feels alive. And yeah, the brightness and the vibrancy is really great, but the the sort of the flatness to everything, the flat wash of the flat blocks of color, they really remind me of I guess like a sort of a bygone era of design, I guess. Or when I say bygone, I mean recently bygone, something in like the early 2000s or the 90s. I feel like it really brings back a lot of memories of, things like Nickelodeon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoons, things like that. Things that are, fun, energetic, and really exciting. It's something I see in a lot of Chloe's work.
All right, this one is called Stargazing. This is a very hypnotic piece, really drawn into the eye shapes flowing down, gazing at you, maybe drawing your soul out of your body and trying to gain its own sentience through some magic. I hear tell Chloe might know some magic, so.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
All
Where
right.
did I?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Go for it, Honda. Go.
Did you have a comment about the last piece?
More just about Chloe's work in general. I see it with a lot of the customization on the frame and on these jars. Um, this piece titled "Abstract Upscaled Art Jars." More of a description, I guess, than a title. But there's something I see in that in the drawing style and in the decoration of these things, and that's sort of like holistic style and like approach to just about everything. I get the feeling that this artist, like their whole living space and sort of ideal situation, maybe all their tools and things have these same kind of qualities, these bright colors and all that stuff. Feels good. It feels like there's a sort of lived in world and a unifying thought and design there.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I also love that in this photo, and these are also for sale. So this is, I think maybe this is why it's set up like this. But I love that there is a backdrop to this, which is a very nice accompaniment of green and pink, hot green, hot pink.
Yeah, I love vibrant squiggles.
All right, so this one is called Swamp Thing. This is a personalized hoodie, very, very cool. Um, one of a kind. Looks very wearable, very comfortable.
I would wear that in a heartbeat. I love the question marks down the sleeve. I think that's cool. I love the sort of dirty camo or like sort of gray brown camo to that. And the last thing is Swamp Thing. I am a huge Swamp Thing fan. When I was a little kid, I had some Swamp Thing pajamas. And I would wear the shirt piece of the pajamas everywhere. It had a big picture of Swamp Thing. And it said Swamp Thing across the top, just like that. So absolutely coolest hoodie I've seen.
On. It's taking you back.
Oh yeah, that hoodie really calls to me. All right, so it looks like next up we have Diana Palma and her piece In Silence here.
Diana is also a returning artist to the Everyday Unseen Gallery, and it's so great to have Diana back with us. I think there's a lot of dynamic aspects of this. The more you look at it, the more itself, the shadow of the imprint of the body, that is, you know, really narrative provoking. What is the story?
Yeah, there's a lot of movement and guidance in this, even though there's no sort of living individual. There's just sort of objects and the impression of people. But there is a lot of movement and dynamic composition going on here. And I think one of my favorite elements of this is if you look carefully up in the top left-hand corner, there's even a little bit of a meta thing going on where this image is the picture on the wall in the room in the image.
Yeah, totally. Got lots of people getting really into the details of this painting.
Yeah, and there's a sort of dreamlike quality too to the coolness and the stillness and orderliness of the room, and then outside is this sort of hot, bright, high key desert, lush desert out there. A very cool
I know
piece from
that
Diana.
window view is a painting all on its own.
Yeah.
All right, our next artist is Danielle Artis, the artist. And we have this first one is called Into the Night, an acrylic painting capturing what looks like a pretty magical sunset. I love it when the sky hits a burning red as the sun goes down.
Yeah.
So maybe some snow flurries. This one is called Melanin Poppin'. I love that necklace. I love a big gold chain. I love the gold makeup also.
I was gonna say I love the gold makeup to accent the gold chain there.
And we have this piece is titled Uncle Dorian. This is a very personal piece painted for a family member. This one is just a girl in a coffee shop. And she looks pumped about that latte or whatever she's drinking. I love the collage in the background too. That's a really nice way to kind of bring a lot of fill into the space behind her. Maybe those are, you know, the images of all the things she's thinking about, or, you know, the weight of everyday life and just finding joy in the tiny moments of drinking your coffee.
Yeah, mixed media is always very exciting. I think it has a lot of potential to show sort of building and sort of building and sort of the way people perceive things, and that sort of stacking up and layering.
All right, the next one is called All Bodies Are Beautiful. And it's maybe another piece you want to zoom into, but there's some collage text in here, sort of like collage poetry. This is a great message. It's a good form.
It is a good message. I love the colors in this piece. That sort of deep, I guess you'd call that burgundy, maybe? Or
Yeah.
wine red, something like that.
A deep, powerful red.
It is a deep and powerful red, and this is a great pose in this
A
figure.
little magenta, maybe leaning. All right, so we are done with group 1. Thank you, everybody in that group and for participating in the gallery. We're gonna give the artists a few minutes to get into the Zoom room before we start the next group of presenters. So if you are in group 2 and you are presenting, please come into the Zoom room now so we can have you ready to talk about yourself and your artwork. And in the meantime, while we give the artists just a few minutes to gather themselves, we're going to take a break.
That's right.
All right, I believe we have a video interlude, so.
We seek to expand the way people think about learning. Our approach to this challenge centers around research, and through a combination of controlled studies and applied work directly with youth, we are gathering and analyzing data and applying it in ways that directly affect students today. As a flexible and diverse organization, we are uniquely positioned to maintain scientific rigor while working collaboratively with the communities, educators, and most importantly, students that we serve. Foundry 10 operates philanthropically, and while the study of learning is our chief goal, our work encompasses much more. We look at our applied programs in terms of the community and learning value they create, and that cannot always be strictly quantified. Yet whether the questions we explore are academic or logistic in nature, everything we do is meant to improve education practices and create better outcomes for all students. By design, we span a wide variety of subjects and domains. Students and educator ideas and voices guide us to interesting questions about learning and modern education. We are Foundry 10. We want to expand what it means to learn, and if you want to connect with us, we are just a few clicks away.
The thing that's most exciting to me about working with students is that you never can really predict what they're going to do. I mean, how many places can you go to work having an idea of what you're going to do and then have it be taken a totally different direction that's still exciting and interesting and valuable? That's so rare. And honestly, I feel like working with kids is really one of the only places you can do that.
Every student that I've met, that I've encountered, that I've come across since working here, they all bring something new and fascinating to the table.
So often we kind of underestimate what a teenager can do or what a third grader can do, and when we're out there in the field, you really see, when given the opportunity and support, what kids are able to do.
It's just a really powerful thing to witness, watching kids get like that aha moment, like I figured this out, or being super proud of the work that they've accomplished. That kind of like just spark that a kid gets, that's a really, really powerful thing to witness and to see. And so just being able to inspire that in students is one of my passions.
What if you asked students, what would you want to do if you could do anything?
Seeing the students as fully capable people.
Having the kids pitch their own ideas, their own inventions or publications or whatever it is, and then seeing where they take that and how it changes over time and how they talk about it, it's second to none.
I was a classroom teacher, and I taught all the grades, actually K through 8, over the 10 years that I was teaching. And while I was teaching, one of the parents at the school that I taught at, a man named Gabe Newell, said that he was interested in this idea of me creating a place that approached the idea of educational research from a different perspective. Over the past few years, we've grown quite a bit. We have about 50 people that work with us in varying capacities to go out and do this research and do the work in the community. What's kind of unique about us as well is that we function in a relatively flat structure, and that's an intentional design with the goal of really empowering people to make interesting decisions regardless of what position they're in.
One of the challenges of coming here was really unlearning a lot of my past experience. So if I worked in a corporate structure, you know certain tracks of success, like if I need to do this, then I get promoted to this, and I get promoted to this. And it was really a lot of trying to figure out what success meant to me, and then being able to bring that to the organization.
Instead of somebody telling you every day when you walk in, here's your task for the day, finish those tasks and you're finished, you have to push yourself and drive your own work to make sure that you're accountable to your teammates on the various teams that you're on, but you're also working on the things that really inspire you and the things you want to get done for the company.
The best and also hardest thing about working here is that we are defining our roles and the work that we do. Like, we're defining that for ourselves all the time.
We think it gives people the opportunity to really be creative and be their best, most interesting selves, because we kind of get out of their way and provide them the support and opportunity to go do good things.
Without any context, we're about learning. It doesn't matter who you are, how long you've been on this earth. All these things, especially in education, the metacognitive learning about learning, there's a lot of things we don't know yet. That's the great thing about Foundry 10, that we're going to try so many different things, and not everything's going to be profound, but we're testing it out as we go.
All right. Hey, everybody.
Welcome back.
Awesome. Okay. So it looks like we have the next group lined up. And are we going to hear from more people, or are we going to continue on with the website right now?
We should just keep going in the order.
Okay. Well, looks like up next on the website we have Elaine
Elena.
Oh, Elena Huh. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Anyway, this piece is called Imagination. There we go. And it looks like this is acrylic paint.
I'd certainly love to imagine myself there.
I would certainly love to be there as well. I love the way these pots are rendered. I always love very simple renderings in these sort of open spaces. I think there's not a ton of information in the composition, but I think what the information that's there is really powerful. It's really strong. It really sets everything up, and it feels very grounded and present.
Yeah, it has that nice open feeling of that adds a bit of tranquility. You know, your mind doesn't buzz when it's looking at this. It calms down.
That's right. This next piece is titled "Love Me Forever."
Has like a joy on it, and then for some reason, like "Love Me Forever" also gives me like a slight pang of sadness. You know?
It does, yeah. There is a joyful, drifting quality to it. This piece is called Lilies. I love the brushwork in this. I'm a big proponent of very simple mark making, mark making, and I think these marks are great. I think they speak really, loudly and well. These little highlights on the water here.
I agree. I really like the brush contrast, the texture between the water and the lilies.
That's right, and I think, okay, we have a few more pieces by Elena after this, and this piece is called Night Sky. Very bold to attempt a circular composition.
And there's a lot of beautiful value in the sky, even though it's all one color.
This piece is titled Tomato, very appropriately so. It is a drawing of a tomato, but it is a very wonderful tomato. I have to say, I really do like the rendering on it, and while it's something that is clearly a quick drawing, it still looks very very studied and very practiced.
Oh.
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah. All right. Our next artist is Ava Evil, and Ava's coming to us with a family of these wood painted cat clocks, and I think these are fantastic. I love that they're paired with these, as we go on, you'll see they're paired with these really specifically chosen backgrounds that just really, kind of squeeze the juice out of your brain when you're looking at them.
I particularly love the cat Dante here. He might be my favorite. I love his little devil ears, and his cool cave background, I think, is my favorite background. I have a thing for caves, spooky caverns.
These are also for sale. These are very cool. You could own your own original Critter Cat by Ava Evil. Oh yeah, Bing.
And I just said Dante's was my favorite cave. The cave background on Dante there was my favorite background on these cats, but I think this pink sky might be a close second.
I like the melon. The yellow melon. Yeah.
The melon is quite good too, yeah.
This cat is up. I was gonna say the pink cat was up to no good, and maybe that's what the pink cat was up to, was taking care of Bitey here.
That's right. Someone in the chat just mentioned the Gator Girl Etsy page, and that's definitely something you should go check out. I've seen some of their zines, and I think their work is really awesome. I love Bitey here too. These teeth in the background, very inspired.
I'm gonna press F in the chat for Bitey.
Yes, press F to pay respects to Bitey.
Somebody posted this, I think it's a robot, like a crying robot for Bitey. So, hang in there, Bitey. You'll be okay.
My heart weeps for Bitey. All right, looks like up next we have Forget Me, and their piece here is Forest Witch, and I think Forget Me is actually joining us right now on the Zoom call. Forget Me, how's it going?
Hi.
Awesome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your work here? I think Chelsea's going to continue showing us the images.
Right. That one's Forest Witch, and that one's actually a redraw of another one that I did a while ago. I wanted to tell everyone about my YouTube channel. It's capital F Forget space capital M me, no space 245. And then also, if you're interested in buying them, I do have prints of both artworks. So you just email me. My email's under the artist profile. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Forget Me.
Let's put your link in the social media, or the, live stream chats here.
Yeah, I was about to say that. If you have a link to your YouTube page, go ahead and drop that in the chat, and I think some other people who are on here are could probably check that out.
I believe it is. Yeah, it is on the website. Let's put it up.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us, Forget Me.
Yes, thank you.
Love the mystery and allure of your name, by the way. All right, so this piece we're looking at is by Isla Walker. Oh, yep, my bad. Hello, everybody. This piece is by Isla Walker. It is called Screen Gallery. The content is very on point here. There are so many fine details, and this is such a great illustration. I mean, that keyboard, I think, I'm not going to count, but it looks to me like every key is rendered on there, on that laptop. Yeah, it's finely detailed. I think the more you look at it, the more you can derive from it too, you know, the person in the gallery looking at this looks like they're taking a lecture. I think we all know that feeling right now, sitting through a Zoom lecture and having somebody dictate to us.
Yeah, we can definitely associate with that. There's a ton of stuff in this piece that I really like. You mentioned every key on the keyboard there. I love that bench. I feel like those benches, we all know those wooden benches that are outside or in galleries or something. And I'm a big fan of stuff like that. And when people pay close attention to those things and get the official gallery bench in there.
Yeah, that is a good point.
And as the chat says, as the chat is bringing up right now, is the window a painting or a piece of art, or is it actually just a window in the gallery? I lean toward the first because behind it we still have this sort of black void that everything is floating in. But this is an installation at a gallery that I would love to see in real life.
Yeah.
Another tiny detail in this I do just want to mention is right next to that window that everybody's discussing right now. There's a little tinier painting that seems to be about the size and format of a phone, or like a large tablet maybe. And it looks like what's on there is a picture of boba, of bubble tea.
It's a boba.
Something about that I greatly enjoy.
It's pretty charming. I also love the space behind and around kind of the foreground content is this mysterious other world of deep contrast, other possibly gallery walls. Is this person in a maze? Can they ever leave the gallery? Is this where they live?
It's a labyrinth of installations and experiences. Someone in the chat mentioned, Dr. Kawasaki here just mentioned that the red in that Netflix image in the corner just immediately keys you in to it being Netflix, and I have to agree completely. As soon as you see that, it screams Netflix in your mind. I can even hear the noise, the little bone noise.
Are you still watching?
Could we ever stop watching? Okay, and looks like up next we have Isabel Rand. And this Warren, sorry. Oh my goodness. Sorry, it's been a long week of reading things off screens, so forgive me if my eyes are giving out on me. But yes, this piece is called Connected, and Isabel has been in a lot of our events. I think the previous two shows and some of our other workshops. So hello, how's it going? This piece, as I said, is called Connected, and it depicts two people being connected through Discord, chat apps, texting, any other way. And I do think that's an interesting thing to bring up, is that a lot of people complain that people spend too much time on their phones or look at the phones too much. But one of the things I always think about that is we don't really know what they're doing on there. They could be checking in with somebody. You know, they could be calling their grandmother. You don't know.
Yeah, totally. I think there's a lot of beautiful, minute details in this drawing, and it is really worth a deeper look at if you are going to explore the gallery later. A lot of these pieces deserve a closer look. Some of the things I really like is the cinnamon roll plushie, because I'm a big Sanrio fan. And I also love this kind of right in between the two people, there's this sort of like digital looking disturbance that creates this sort of surreal border joining between the two of them, and it looks really cool. It's a nice subtle but very effective effect.
Yeah. And when you said cinnamon roll plushie, I was racking my brain looking for an actual cinnamon roll.
Oh
Not
no!
realizing you meant the character
It's
cinnamon roll.
the little white. I don't know what cinnamon roll is. I think maybe a dog.
Yeah, they're a Sanrio creature. I always consider them
Yeah.
all to be sort of like a dog slash fairy slash cloud or something.
A lot of them are animals.
I guess, yeah, the kitty and everything. Anyway, looks like up next here we have Isabella Vitale.
Yeah, so
Hope I'm
this
reading
is
that right.
Isabella Vitale. Vitalia, we did not get a pronunciation. This piece is called Small Piece of Nature. This is a little, actually this isn't that small, but it's a little clay sculpture. This is really, really pretty, and I like that the frog and the snake and the snail and the mushrooms are living harmoniously and nobody's eating each other.
I was about to note that. It seems like a very harmonious image. It feels very peaceful. I can almost hear birds chirping or smell or hear the sound of a creek running and smell the trees around. I love this little frog too. Something about his calm complexion.
Yeah,
Speaks to
yeah.
me.
Tranquil frog. All right, so this next piece is called Studio. And this is described as an abstraction of an art studio, which, wow, I would love to visit that studio after seeing this.
I know, really. I love this human figure in the corner over there and the plant in the foreground. There's something about using like one or two sort of vague representational images in an abstract piece that I think is really cool.
Yeah, and if you take a look at it too, none of the colors are exactly as they seem. There's a lot of play here with hue going on, especially in some of the darker, deeper colors where you can see it's not just purple or blue or black. There's really a lot of experimentation and thought going on with the color use here.
Yeah, definitely. Down in the left-hand corner, I love the blending there. On that color note, I think those that pink and that blue with that nice creamy sort of yellow ochre in the background work really well. Just that one piece I could almost pull out of this and I would hang that on my wall even.
This next piece by Isabella is called Double Double, and another color that uses, or another piece that uses color in an extraordinary way. Lots of texture going on in the brushstrokes. No color is flat. Every color is explored.
I really like this painting. When I first saw it in the submissions for the show, I was very impressed by it. It recalled a lot of old American painters, and a lot of guys from the Ashcan School and stuff. Those are a lot of things that I drew a lot of inspiration from myself when I was in college. The expression on this young woman's face is very powerful, and it's just well put together, very human.
Okay, this piece is called Head. It's a clay sculpture. And the description is a head, but a pot. This is truly how expansive the human brain can be, right? One day we will just use them to physically grow plants out of our heads, maybe.
Sheer force of will.
Yeah. Also, fantastically rendered facial anatomy here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and Swirl. I wonder if this is the same person whose head is also a pot.
It does quite look, now that you say that, I am seeing it. Yeah, it does look like the same.
Isn't it kinda? Yeah.
It does look like it could be the same individual. The profile of this face looks quite similar. This piece also, the color palette is really restrained, but very deep and very complex. I don't know if anybody who doesn't paint knows that these skin tones and these darks can be very hard to achieve and still have a lot of, you know, pop and life in them. And I think it's definitely here. It's that same kind of careful consideration and human quality that I mentioned earlier in the other piece I can see coming through in this one. So really impressive.
Yeah, there's a lot of life in the color, in the flesh, in the rendering. It's very like tangible and almost like you could touch it and squish it or something.
Yeah, it's like it has a temperature.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. John, do you want to intro Logan?
I shall. I was just checking to see if Logan was with us, and I can see that Logan is. Logan is our next artist, and they are joining us now on the Zoom call. So, Logan.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so I'm Logan Sands, and I create grip tape art, and I doodle a lot. And basically what grip tape is, it's like a sheet of, it's like an adhesive sticker. So this back sheet peels off and then it sticks to the front side of a skateboard. And I've been skating for a little over 2 years now, and I finally started like incorporating my art with skateboarding about maybe like 5-6 months ago. And I started selling it just to like friends, and then it kind of grew and etc. And that was my mom walking by. Thanks, Mom, for not going around. Sorry. Okay. I also have like a group of people watching me, so this is totally helping. But anyways, I just wanted to start incorporating my art with my skateboarding, and I get stuff like this out of it. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are showcasing the pictures or not, but yeah, that's about it. I don't know what else to really say. I just have been making art for a long time, and I finally kind of found what I like doing. So yeah.
Oh, we have a quick question for you. Somebody's asking, where is your favorite place to skate?
Oh God. I end up at Monroe Skate Park or Lake Ty a lot of the time. I also like Woodinville Skate Park because it has lights, and I'm kind of all over, but I'd say my favorite skate park is Lake Ty Skate Park. It's in Monroe, and sunset's already really pretty there. And if you go to local skate parks, you'll probably end up seeing at least like one person maybe with like some crazy colored grip tape art, and that's probably mine. But it's just kind of spread through the group of skaters because it's pretty, the skater, especially girls skater community, it's pretty small, so I happen to know a lot of them, and it's just spreading. So yeah, that is my favorite skate park. Moral of the story.
That's awesome that it's kind of facilitating the community and giving you all almost like not biker jackets, but you know what I'm saying, kind of like a I don't know, John, help me, like a designation or something.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know what word I'd use either, but
yeah, cuts or back patches or something.
Yeah, but I definitely enjoy doing it, and I don't know how I don't have like a format or anything. I just have Instagram, and it's just Logan Suns, so LOGANSUNS, and I have like a few Instagram posts about it that just show like different pieces I've done for friends and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Well, it's great hearing from you, Logan. That's really impressive. That's cool to hear about the skate community and everything we have going on.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to take a look at Maddie Tanabe's work now. And Maddie Tanabe's first piece is called Shining Princess.
Awesome. This is very cool. I love using the newspaper for almost like a canvas or a surface.
Yeah.
In this case, it sort of automatically makes anything you're drawing mixed media or a collage.
Yeah, and I love that it's a print. Two very cool techniques, like a print on top of a print.
I was about to say, yeah, it's almost it's a mixed media printing printmaking technique.
Also, the cultural connections of basing work off of fairy tales is very strong and important. So this one is called Paper Mask. This was inspired by Japanese street fashion and intending fashion to not only be functional but an expression of the wearer of yourself and your creativity. And this is very cool. I like this a lot. It's almost like the gown version of the face mask. You know, like you want to wear this on a nice night out, like to a movie or to like a dinner or something.
Yeah, it does feel like a very almost a formal face mask. Like this would go with a large piece, or yeah, maybe you were going to like an opening or a gala. This would be something to wear. I'm blown away by the craftsmanship in those paper flowers. Looks really awesome. I love seeing that newspaper folded up over the face too. There's
Yeah.
something in just that I think is pretty striking. That repurposing of something that's so ubiquitous and accessible into something that has like a practical purpose.
Agreed.
That's right. Okay, and it looks like up next we have Natanya Lim, and Natanya is joining us here. So, hello, Natanya. Why don't you tell us about some of that work?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Natanya, and I'm currently a junior at International Community School. So just a little background. From young, art has always been a super integral and constant part of my life. I've probably been doing art since kindergarten when I first drew my very first princess. And I've always levitated towards art because it allows me to explore and celebrate the various parts of my identity, culture, and experiences. And as a female coming from a multicultural and multilingual background, art has really played a big part in helping me to like honor and embrace that. And most importantly, art is a really empowering and beautiful outlet, in my opinion, for the endless possibilities and ideas constantly going through one's head. And in terms of like my general art process, my artwork has always been primarily driven between a partnership between my intuitions and my personal reflections. So usually when I make my artwork, I really want to include like a meaning, either personal meanings, but most importantly, I like to kind of engage my viewers and kind of get them to think about like their own life experiences and like how they can react to my artwork in a way. And I also like enjoy experimenting with various different mediums, subjects, and artistic techniques so I can always grow as an artist. So I find that really fun to just explore how doing a different kind of like brushstroke or using different types of colors can elicit a whole different emotion and response.
Wow, well said. Yeah, I can see all of your concepts and power in your artwork, and the thought processes. And there's so many different techniques in the art that you submitted, going from that pointillism one to this kind of this chalk and oil pastel one.
Yeah, definitely. I absolutely love that piece, Joyful Nostalgia, with the pointillism. It's insanely impressive to me. Very, very cool. Very cool work. We do have a question from the chat for you. Do you listen to, the question is, do you listen to music while you make art? And if so, what?
Ooh, that's a good question. But I always listen to music. It really depends on my mood. I think I remember when I was doing Joyful Nostalgia, I was listening to a lot of music that kind of reminded me of like my family and like happy feelings. Um, Sometimes I'll play like classical music, and sometimes I'll go to pop. So it really just depends.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. Well, thank you for presenting to us, and thank you for that like wonderful breakdown of your process and your sort of concept and statement for as an artist. I think that's really well thought out and awesome, and I can't wait to see what you make in the future.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. All right, so that is wrapping up group 2. If you are in group 3 and you would like to present, go ahead and join the Zoom now so you can get set up for your call time. While we let the artists join the Zoom room and prepare for their presentations, we're going to take another short video break.
Every time.
What does that thing do? I've always been very outspoken. If I see something, I say something. Like, this is how I kind of work as a person. We still live under this facade of freedom in a lot of ways. They told Black people that we were free, yet you look at incarceration, you look at poverty, you look at all these systems that don't really give people the freedom to live. It is kind of have to try to survive. I think education is a huge part of that, which is why education is so important to me, because a lot of people see education as a way out of poverty, a way out of a situation, a way out of a bad family life. It's a way to get out, yet when the opportunity to get out isn't fully distributed, if not everyone can do that, especially those who really need to. It doesn't feel like education is an opportunity anymore for everyone. It feels like it's an opportunity for the privileged people in our country to gain more privilege and to gain more power rather than the disenfranchised people to reclaim some of their power. I chose a book because writing is my thing. Writing's always been my thing. Writing a book has just always been like a goal of mine in my life. I feel like it's always weird to reach such a big goal. Like, it never really feels real because you've been thinking about it like hypothetically for so long, and now it's not hypothetical anymore. Foundry 10 was the perfect setup for me in getting this book complete. I had come into the internship with a lot of work already done on the book, and what I really needed from this internship and what it provided to me was just the designated time to just sit down and write, and then also the support from a mentor whose job it was to look over my writing, give me some feedback. That was all I really needed to do this. As an intern, you're able to genuinely create a project that speaks to who you are, what you want to be doing, and you don't have to check off any things for the adults around you. You don't see that in very many internships. You don't see like this like trust given to youth that if they're given the time and resources to work, that they won't just slack around, that they'll actually do something with that time. I've always like battled with not wanting to be like a spokesperson for any group, which is why the book includes like other quotes from other people, because I don't know everything about this experience. I feel like the more I talk to people about it, the more I can relay and say, well, I heard this from this person, so I have a pretty good idea about what their experience was like. And still, I don't really feel comfortable being like the one voice. I want like collectively student voices to be uplifted. I'm like connecting people to the resources I have. Like I want other people to have like these opportunities to come forward and speak just as much as I'm getting these opportunities. I do think it takes a lot of practice to be able to feel comfortable lifting up your voice. Practice it in safe spaces. Practice it around people you trust. Practice it in community spaces with people who you know support you, people who you know care about you. And once you feel really comfortable sharing it there, just take that risk and share it with someone who you're not really sure how they're going to respond. Share it to your class. Write a story about it. It's really scary at first because you don't know what's going to happen. But I think that for me, one of the biggest ways I was able to feel empowered to do this was doing it first within community and getting such an incredible response from that community that I felt empowered to bring it to people who I didn't necessarily have the same trust in. I'm not sure what it is about people my age, but we're very aware. We're very aware of what's going on in this world. So many youth right now are on it and very passionate about what they believe to be true about this world, which is one of the few things that gives me hope, is the fact that people my age are so willing to be doing the work that needs to be done.
All right, so returning from break now, after that nice little video, I think we have one final group of artists and a couple more artists are going to join us to present and talk. But let's get on with the rest of the artists here. Thank you, Chelsea. This piece is called Mechanical World, and it is by Prisha. And this is a digital painting. Now, one of the things I like in this is this sort of the glow of these rainbow colored lights are really like reading well on the fingers here. And you really get the sense that there's like a connection here. I also love the sort of emerging from this like robot mechanical arm here.
Oh yeah, I love the pop nature of this art piece. It totally looks like something that would be on an album cover for some like incredible album. There's a lot of intrigue in it for me. I've been listening to podcasts about robots and AI, so there's this gives me a lot to think about. Even the composition of the hand, like, is that somebody who's becoming a cyborg? Is that somebody who is a cyborg trying to become human? Is this, we don't know what the rest of the body looks like. What are they reaching for?
Definitely. What you said about the album covers really spoke to me. I love prog rock album covers where there's, something like a cyborg dragon flying over a desert or something like that. But this has a very cool feeling to something like that. Maybe not as silly as a cyborg dragon, but definitely that same sort of like energy and exuberance in the imagination.
Yeah, like verging, like that kind of, I don't want to say like, this isn't quite like high fantasy, but kind of verging on that like fantasy. imagery. All right, so this is, wait, is Cicely? Okay, this is Cicely Hampton's work. This first piece is called Charlie. Cicely has submitted 4 portraits, so we're gonna take a look at those. I mean, this is, I love it's almost like the most candid shot. They were, you know, getting ready to pose for the painting, and then instead of painting the pose, you paint the moments before leading up to that. You kind of get this really casual look and expression.
Yeah, almost like when you hold down the camera button on your phone and it takes like a million photos of somebody walking, or like, you know, mid
Yeah.
sentence, or like mid blink. Yeah, it has that same kind of energy. One of the things I like about this is this nice flat blue background. A lot of times when you have these sort of flat background spaces, people say you're not to do that, but I think it really works here because I think it's a good complement to the skin tones, the darks in the hair, and that orange in the sweater. I also love the rendering on the lines under the eyes and the skin. It's just really impressive.
Yeah, these are all rendered to a very high detail. I like the backgrounds too. I think that what they almost make them look like collages, because it almost looks like they're cut out and placed on the background, because the contrast between the flat color in the back and the very realistic and shaded and textured portrait in the front. So the previous one was Rihanna. I think most people probably recognize Rihanna. And this one is called JPEG. I may be pronouncing that wrong. You can correct me.
I really love
Yeah.
this piece. The angle of the head and the movement, they feel very natural, and I feel like they've really captured a candid moment of an individual, you know?
Yeah, also the texture on that hair and the clothing, that is something that when I'm drawing, you know, sometimes I simplify clothes because it can be so hard to get the details and make everything look right in terms of volume, and that is just really well done. All right, this is Tyler the Creator. This is another good one with the color. I really like the pink, yellow, baby blue look.
The color combination on this one is pretty great. The expression on Tyler the Creator's face here is an awesome one too, and I really like the composition of this one. Something about having him so low down in the image with such the tall hat on really lends that little sort of playfulness to it.
Yeah, and the poses that were all chosen all have this kind of like, not bewildered, but not all of them, but a lot of them have a very kind of like off guard look.
Yeah, very in the moment.
Which is nice, you know, kind of, instead of focusing on like, I want somebody to look especially glamorous or beautiful, it's like I want them to just kind of look casual, non-formal.
Yeah, how you would see them if you were speaking to them, a sort of candid appearance. Yeah. All right, it looks like up next we have Sophia Cohen, and this piece is titled Derealization.
So Sophia contributed 2 pieces, and they're almost they're accompaniments of each other, and I thought that was really cool, almost verging on, kind of reminds me of like animation frames almost, you know.
Yeah, I always love that. One of the things I talk about sometimes in my workshops is treating things in books as just sequential images. Like if you're compiling something, just think of images happening in a sequence and how you'd remember something. And I feel like these 2 photographs really capture that same feeling while sort of having their own energies between them. There's almost like a dark and light mirror effect going on with these.
This one is called Faceless, and it's kind of spooky. The true depth of that black in the center is pretty intense when you look at it.
Yeah, there is something too in that necklace standing out like
Yeah.
that, and that sort of dark void emerging from it. It almost feels like teeth or a grin or something.
The symmetry of the fountain too adds, I think, like a bit of an ominous setting.
Definitely. I've been wondering where that fountain is. 'Cause it's a very cool fountain. It seems like a fun place to visit.
Sophia was in the chat earlier in Twitch. Do not know if she's still here.
All right, well, Sophia, if you're here, please let us know where that fountain is, because it's very cool and I would like to visit it.
Oh, Volunteer Park.
That's Volunteer Park. Oh.
I've
Oh
been
my
to
goodness.
Volunteer Park many times and I can't remember that fountain.
Yeah, countless times for me, and I'm like, where is that?
All right, and we have the artist here to present, Spencer Owen.
Spencer,
Ready?
you're joining us. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great, welcome.
So this is a mask I made. This is a mask I made. So the pieces I put into the gallery are both collages I did. I work in all different types of mediums, but I put collages is the main medium I work in, and the one with the woman in the hat and the Caribbean. This is to show during quarantine. You know, we were stuck at home, and I wanted to show where I wanted to be in the Caribbean. I've never been there, but it sounds nice. And then the collage I did is a one I did a while ago, but I um, I still think it holds a resonance during quarantine with the communications of loved ones having to be over the phone or other devices. So, and I also have a social media account on Instagram in case anyone wants to check out more of my art. It's invisible.lemons or visible period lemons. And feel free to check that out. Thank you.
All right, we got that link in the stream chat. And Spencer, I dug through your Instagram a bit and I love that mask you made with the pom-poms kind of put all over it. It's,
oh, yeah.
I love the colors you chose. I love how they're different sizes, the way you set it up. I mean, that piece is very, very cool. So if you all get a chance to check out Visible Lemons at Instagram, you can check out that mask.
Yeah, really cool stuff on your Instagram too. The piece that says "Only the Best" on it, I thought was pretty fantastic. It's a very fun collage. I love the safe and sheltered piece. This one of the Caribbean. Something about it feels so warm and so abstract and designed. It really speaks to me in a way. It has that sort of 60s, classic modern America look to it also.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love just the collage can be so surreal, even though a lot of collage is based off of photography, which are pictures of real things. Just taking them out of context, they can just have a whole new meaning. And even the way you pasted different hands on the arms and stuff, it's a very thought-provoking piece.
I like to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, and thank you, Spencer. Yes, and it looks like up next we have Tylus Crowlier. No, once again, am I reading that last name correctly, Honda?
No, the phonetic is, I believe it's Talus Krayler.
Oh, Tylus Krayler. Sorry about that. And we have the piece up here. Good, awesome, I can see it. And this piece is titled "To Be a Woman." This is a pencil drawing. very cool. This piece here is titled Outline of a Memory, and it definitely has that feeling of a memory, of sort of something half remembered, those little split-second moments that you can sort of feel more than see.
Yeah, yeah, like the fragments of it kind of as you piece it back together.
Awesome. This piece is titled Always Remembered. This is taken at the 9/11 Memorial in New York City.
The yellow and blue is really nice here. I always love the way the sky looks as the sun sets and the buildings pointing toward the sky reflect blue, and then the sun creates that really beautiful color complementary yellow or orange as the sky changes.
Definitely. Speaking of the sky changing, this piece is called At the End of the Day, and this is a pretty crazy sunset. This says this was taken on Sonoma Mountain after dinner with my 94-year-old grandmother. That is
Yes.
quite the
Very
vista.
thoughtful. Sorry, John.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying this is quite the vista. It's a beautiful sunset. I think we have up next a film from Talus, and I guess Chelsea, are you ready to go to the video now? Okay, there we go.
John, you're muted.
Oh my goodness, sorry about that, everybody. Yeah. So anyway, obviously in that obviously in that video, very personal message and very sweet and very nice. But I just want to point out the storytelling in that is wonderful. Everything is paced nice. You get right to that end and see, you know what's going to happen. It is really well done, really well made video. I also like that the very first thing that our character in the short film, the very first thing he magically draws into existence is a brand new Xbox for himself.
Yeah, that's a wonderful short. I also would like to comment on just the technical aspect of it. I think it's shot really well, and the little bits of kind of movie magic and switching out the objects was done very cleanly and professionally. And it may seem, if you've never tried to make a film in any way, you may think, oh, that's probably really easy, but the reality of it is it's not. It's a difficult medium to master and learn.
Yeah, very difficult. So good work on that. And I guess our next artist up here is
Yeah, so next we have Taylor Yingxi. And Taylor's, sorry, give me 1 second. All right, so this piece is called Morning Routine. And this is definitely a powerful, powerful piece. There's a lot going on. This is a direct reflection on this year. Taylor's direct reflection of, sorry, I guess last year.
yeah, that's right, last year.
But wow, I mean, there's so much to take in here. Lots of emotion. Newspapers noting people's passing, floods, fire inside, the word violence, and this person in the bedroom just trying to live life, hold it together.
Yeah, there's something very powerful in the image. I think somebody, doing sort of the mundane day to day in the face of sort of just overwhelmingly oppressive odds out there. There's something brave in that, and there's something very strong. This is a great piece, I think, in terms of composition, message. I think it's very effective, but I think also just on a technical level, it's just very, very impressive, jaw dropping in a way. But the rendering on the bed, the curtains, the lighting and shadow on the figure, it's just all very, very well done. And this piece is also 48 inches by 36 inches, so quite large.
So this next piece is called Ravage, and I think you can start to see a bit of Taylor's personal style, even if you only see a couple pieces. There's very, very strong imagery, provoking imagery, incredible use of rendering. Everything is rendered very well. All right, this one is called Self-Care, something, honestly, something I feel like I've learned to do because of lockdown that maybe I was kind of doing before, but now I'm fully engaged in self-care. And this is another really deep piece that I think everybody who looks at it is going to have a different interpretation of what it means.
Yes, definitely. I feel like I've been trying to practice a little bit of self-care these days myself too, and this is one of my favorite ways to do it is taking a bath. So love to see that depicted in this painting. But once again, just want to note the great use of light and shadow, just very effective, very, very well put together.
Yeah, so this next piece is called Storytelling, and this is a digital painting. And this, again, has just so much to say in terms of its content and narrative. I love that glowing, the floor is coming up, but it almost looks like a book page.
Yeah, the glowing quality to it is quite nice. The figure is rendered really well here in the foreground. I just want to say once again, the use of the composition here, so the sort of viewpoint we're at, the angle we're at, the perspective, and the use of shade and the use of shadow here, I think they work well together in all of Taylor's pieces. Um, it's just very impressive. It's on display here, and it's fun to see someone who can paint digitally as well as in oil. It's very cool.
All right, this piece is called Back to School. I think it's pretty pretty self-explanatory reflection on how a lot of students are feeling.
That's right. I think how a lot of people are feeling. The perspective in this piece is really great. All the technical stuff is really accomplished again, but yeah, that sort of emptiness and that void. I often talk to people about how, again, one of the things I've talked to a lot of artists about is just how the outline of something or like the absence of something can have a sort of presence in itself. That sort of thing not being there when it should can sort of feel like a larger object than the person or thing that's missing. And this piece really captures that feeling and gets that across.
And so we have Tina here to talk about her work and herself as an artist. Welcome, Tina.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Tina. Thank you for having me. And gosh, Taylor's work was really, really freaking good. But anyways, so yeah, I've been painting doing art my entire life. So ever since I was a kid, really. It kind of started out because I was jealous that my sister was good at art and I wanted to compete with her. But then it turned out that I actually liked it. And so there you go. To this day, I still do art. So this piece right here, the skull I made, was probably the most recent painting I made. It was just kind of representation of how much I overthink, and especially with this virus where everyone's just anxious all the time. And I don't know, this was just an especially overthinky time for me. And so I took a scrap canvas and I kind of just painted this skull. And in the back, I just wrote don't think about it too much. It's not as bad as you make it. That's not to say Corona is not bad. It's bad. I'm just talking about thoughts in my head. This was just painting of Nina Simone. She was inspiration for me. I love her music, and I just wanted to make a homage to her. So yeah, that one is a bat. And this is a David Bowie painting I did. This is the one that's actually behind me right now. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, again, another musician that just helped me through these times. Bowie, again, he's a huge inspiration. I just love how colorful and just big personality he has. And I just knew if I made a painting with that bright red hair, when someone walked up to it, they would be they would know who that is right away. So had to paint him, of course. And yeah, I really liked how it turned out. And this last one is just a print. So I started printmaking about a year ago, intaglio printmaking, and I thought it was scary because I felt like I had no control over what I was doing. And I was so used to holding a pencil and doing it that way, but it turns out printmaking is really fun. And since then, right now I'm working on photages, I think it's called, and making plates out of just everyday objects like foam cereal boxes and stuff. So yeah, I love printmaking.
Oh, there was one more.
Oh yeah. So this one is another painting I made. I really just like bright colors again, and I wanted this painting to be huge. When you walked up to it, you're oh, that's kind of extra over the top. And I'm not sure if I accomplished it, but I just wanted to make something extra, and that's what came out.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina. I am a printmaker myself, and so it is always awesome to see people exploring printmaking and having fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great stuff, and I always love people. I always love skulls and the images of skulls, so it's cool to see the skulls on there. And I think you did succeed. This painting is very striking and very eye-catching.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. We have a quick question in the chat, and it's, how long do you work on a single piece, and how do you know when it's done?
So this is not taking into account my procrastination habits. Usually a painting like the Bowie one, it would take me, if I just worked on it every day, maybe like 4 or 5 days altogether. It's a long process, and maybe even longer, because at times you need to wait for the paint to dry so you can paint over it. But in reality, like with my procrastination, that took me like half a year to do, because there was like a good 3 months in between where I was like, I do not feel like painting. So yeah, it could take a while. It could take a couple days, or it could take months, depending on your inspiration, I guess.
Woo! So you gotta go with the flow when you paint.
Exactly.
Good. Well said, Tina. Thank you for joining us. Oh, someone else is asking if you do commission work.
Oh yeah, I do commission work. So I make canvas prints of all my pieces. I sell my prints. And yeah, I have a website. It's tinam.webflow.io. So if you want to see my works, check it out over there. Or my Instagram is tinamasum.art. Basically anything I make, I sell prints of, and I do like commissioned work, like original stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Tina. We have your contact info on the website. You can feel free to post it in the chat here on the Twitch stream, and everybody will have access to it. But your work looks great, and thank you for stopping by and talking about it with us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Tina.
Bye, guys.
All right, and our last but definitely not least, featured artist of the evening is Yazzie. Local Seattle artist here, Yazzie, has submitted a couple pieces, and I think this piece really speaks for itself. I think there's a lot to take away from it, and it's a very powerful piece coming from a young artist.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to mention too that the lit up heart window. I live in First Hill in Seattle, so I live right next to the Swedish hospital. And from my window at this very moment, I can see a hotel with the heart windows lit up. So that's something that really speaks to me and really makes this piece feel like it's happening, here in the city that we're in. Like Honda said, very powerful stuff.
Oh, that first one was called Disruption. I forgot to read the title. So this one is called Pause. And I think the two pieces right next to each other are a really intense but necessary juxtaposition that I think many of us felt this summer, with just, having to take a moment and really find groundedness and peace and just stop, I really love the color palette here. Very, very good. Very representative of the word pause, and also the contrast of the gold as it sort of, the buildings fade in the back, but the gold brings them back into the image, or into the eye.
Yes, definitely. This piece feels very Seattle. I feel like this is sort of the view out the windows in the morning sometimes. So yeah, very great work from Yazzie. And I think that wraps up our last artist. That's everything in the show.
That is. Thank you, artists. 25 fantastic artists featured.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you to everybody for being in the show. It's been really awesome. And I guess we can start to wrap things up, but before we go, I do just want to say, I'm sure everybody's ready to get on with the rest of their Friday nights, but I do want to thank everyone who made the show possible. So that's everybody on the artistic design team at Foundry 10. Thank you to my co-host Honda for so much help planning the show and just in every aspect of it. Thank you to everyone who submitted work to the show. All of it has been absolutely incredible. I want to thank our keynote, Robin, for like really inspiring and instructional, awesome words. I want to thank Taylor for that incredible online wizarding adventure we had last week. For anybody who showed up to that, the show is something really special to all of us, and it wouldn't be possible without everybody here, particularly the artists that we have featured. So just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you so much. We had so much behind the scenes help too from different parts of Foundry 10, and we have our whole live streaming crew tonight. We also had lots of help from the research team and all the other multifaceted, multi-talented people here at Foundry 10. And also big shout out to all the parents who signed all the paperwork. Thank you all for making it possible for your young aspiring artists to contribute to the gallery this year.
Awesome, that's right. And at the moment, there are no plans for the site to go down. Possibly in the future, we'll end up moving it, but it'll be up and available and visible for as long as you need it to be, really. It'll be there. So please share the link, spread it with everybody. Let them know you got some work up there. It'd be great to have more traffic to it. And I hope everybody will be a part of the show next year, too.
All right, we're gonna be in the Zoom link for presentations for a little bit. If any of the artists want to join us, and just for wrap-ups, kind of like a short mini after party to share your thoughts and pop in. We'll be there for a little bit in case anyone wants to say hello and have like a bit of a cool down. And that would be the same Zoom for presentations for if anybody's interested. Thank you so much, everyone.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Have a good night.
See ya.
Congratulations.